Hi, and welcome to Danny After Dark. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a notification or a new episode. Tonight is the weekly True Crime and Chill. Mr. Beckham may or may not be joining. We will see. The Liz will be joining later tonight because we have a lot of updates in the Brian Walsh trial. So give everybody a few minutes to kind of trickle in. I know we are doing the True Crime and Chill a day earlier than normal. If you have not seen it already, part 2 of the J.C. Bring Cutting to the Truth interview with Anthony DiMaria and Marshall Terrell will be live tomorrow night. And that will be at 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Just want to make sure I said that right because it's a little earlier than I usually do my shows. So definitely tune into that. Sadly, am I really sad? No. Paul from the Paulcast, who was supposed to be joining us tomorrow night, will not be able to. So he will not be on camera. However, he will be live in the chat. So I'm sure he will be a pain in the ass and we'll just deal with it as it unfolds. But anyway, definitely tune in tomorrow for that. Again, part 2 of J.C. Bring Cutting to the Truth with Anthony DiMaria and Marshall Terrell. Let's see what other administrative things to go over. I have not posted this yet, but next Tuesday will be a review of the Netflix docuseries on Puff Daddy. So I'm really excited to talk about that with y'all. That has been one thing that has been so talked about lately, and a lot of kind of behind the scenes chat about kind of my thoughts on it. Because on the one hand, y'all know I'm not a Netflix person, but there's been a lot of please watch it. You know, I want to hear your thoughts, so on and so forth. So I figured let's just do a full docu-series review of all 4 episodes. So that will be next Tuesday. And I may have a panel with me on that. So stay tuned. Let's see what else. Again, we are in December, so it is crazy busy. And I will definitely be scheduling shows in advance that I know I can do as soon as I can, so y'all kind of know what the schedule is. So if things aren't kind of on the, kind of normal kind of days I usually do them, please bear with me, and we will be back on track soon. But enough of that chit chat. Let's see who is here, and we'll kind of get the night started that way. Hi, PJ. Hello. Good to see you. Kane. James Watson. I'm sure did he ever have a good hairstyle to begin with? Thank you, Karen Diamond. Hello. So yeah, me and the Liz went to court on Monday. We took the day off and went to the Brian Walsh trial, and we actually were able to get in and get a seat in the courtroom. So we were there for the day, and they live stream it. And at one point when it was the morning break, when Brian Walsh was walking back to the holding cell, the Court TV camera caught me and Liz for a second. So it was funny. I stopped by the cat shelter today. I had to drop off a bunch of stuff. And one of the other volunteers was there and was like, I saw you on TV. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was very interesting being there in person. But me and Liz will talk about that. but I did screen grab the clip and I did post it on Instagram. So check that out if you missed it. But yeah, that was wild. Hey, Wolf, good to see you. Beckham is here. Hey, Beckham.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I have
Happy
been
Friday.
nonstop all day, but that's okay.
Happy Friday.
It's Thursday, hun, but okay. So, but oh my gosh, but before I forget, so it is the holiday season. All the links are below, all the things. If you are not already, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you're not following me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, please do so. I am most prominent on Instagram, to be perfectly honest. So definitely, if you're just like, want to see what's going on, I'm always on Instagram. Also, there are links down below for the Danny After Dark merch store. So if you want to get yourself or your loved one some Danny After Dark merch, or a Beckham candle, or a Beckham t-shirt, or
do a candle.
Do it. The link down below.
I have one burning right now.
Do you?
Beckham candle. Smells good. It smells
You're not on camera,
light.
you know.
Huh? Oh, I know.
You're
I'm
not
not
on
going to come on camera until the Liz gets here.
Oh, Jesus. And then lastly, I am on Cameo. So if you or, you want to get your loved one or your friend a personalized video from me, check out the link for Cameo below.
Would you do a Cameo?
Beckham got a Cameo before.
Would you do it singing?
No, and no one wants that. I'm telling you right now, no one wants that. So,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that would be a, hey, I'm really sorry, I cannot honor this request type of thing. So, Liz, when she comes on, she will be discussing the Brian Walsh trial updates. But in the meantime, let's just kind of jump into a couple other things here. So I will start with Karen Diamond. We don't need this type of negativity.
Thank you, Karen.
No, we don't, Karen. We don't.
Happy holidays.
Oh, goodness. Hey, K-Dog. Hey, Renee. Hey, Chris James. Hope y'all
What's up, Chris James?
Good. Make sure I didn't miss anyone.
Is the better Paul in here?
No, he hasn't been here in a while. I'm scared. We need a welfare check on the better Paul. All right. So this actually, I don't have like official notes done because I was at the gym and I saw all this. So I'm like, all right. I will say we are not going to, as y'all know, this is not a political channel. So we haven't really talked about this case because when everything first happened with it, it was like, no, we're not going there because everybody's making it a political thing. We're not doing that. However, there was a court date today and I want to talk a little bit about that. But again, we're not making it political. If you're wondering who I'm talking about Tyler Robinson. So he was the one that has been arrested and will be standing trial in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So he was in court today and I was reading some articles while I, kind of had some time when I got home, but I was watching it on the screen at the gym and I was like, all right, I just want to see what the heck is going on. James Watson, Beckham sounds murky. I hope he isn't doing this from the bathroom. I think we all hope he isn't doing that. Is this mic weird, y'all?
Yeah.
Okay.
You sound like you're far away.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, he's saying you.
I mean, I sound good to myself.
Well, no shit. I don't have my mic plugged in, my typical mic.
There you go.
But you can still hear me fine.
Yeah, you can still hear you, but you're like far away that I'm so loud to myself.
No, I think I did something to it when I was setting up. It fell, and it's not. I gotta play with it.
I'm like really loud to myself because I can't hear you.
You're really loud to me all the time, hon. So Danny sounds fine. Thank you, Chris James. Thank you. All right. Now that we've established that.
Yeah, but
So
your counterparts can't hear you. Damn thing you're saying.
you're Beckham. It's not always about you. So what I took away from Tyler Robinson's court appearance, and if you guys watched it and you guys have any thoughts on it, or even if you haven't, but you've seen that, like, let me know. So what I noticed today was, well, first, what the purpose of the in-court appearance was. The defense is trying to argue that cameras not be used during Tyler Robinson's trial. So his lawyers have been prepared to argue that there shouldn't be filming because it could potentially taint a jury. So Judge Tony Graff allowed cameras to film for part of today's proceedings, but most of it was kind of behind the scenes that we didn't get to see. Tyler's mother, father, and brother were in the courtroom. One of the things that I kind of noticed, because of course with Tyler Robinson on the screen, Erica Kirk was also on the screen in regards to she was not in the courtroom, but I saw some of the clips where she was kind of stating that she feels that cameras should be in the courtroom for this trial. And I thought that was very interesting. She's been very vocal about that. What kind of really bothered me was Tyler Robinson's appearance. And there was, what I'm specifically getting to is he seemed to be maybe not, again, I don't want to speculate what's going on in someone's head, because obviously what happened in his head, like, you can't rationalize irrational thinking and behavior for the actions that he's alleged to have done. So let's get that out there first and foremost. He was very smiling, chatting with his lawyers. Like a lot of the clips I saw, other news stations were saying the word smirking, and I thought that was actually pretty accurate. Kind of joking, laughing with his attorneys. But yeah, definitely the word smirking, I thought, kind of best sums up what we were seeing. I found it very disturbing. Very disturbing. But what do you guys think? Did you guys observe his behavior? What are your thoughts on it? Do you think this should be a televised trial? Yes or no? I just want to hear what y'all are thinking. Beckham, what do you think?
I just don't know what. God, I'm so loud to myself. Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay. I just don't understand all the security. Like it's like I don't know. It was just kind of weird to me what I saw.
The security that was in the courtroom?
Outside and everything,
Oh,
transportation
okay.
and all. I mean, I think it should be televised. I think it should be public. Everything should be made so that the public is made aware of everything. So there's no like conspiracy theory, or there's none of that jazz going around. You get what's coming, straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything's clear as everything unfolds. Because otherwise you're gonna have all kinds of stuff, being shared or memed or talked about, and it's just always just gonna be like a cloud out there about, circumstance and just doubt of anything. You know how people can get about different things if they don't know the complete truth, or if they feel they're not knowing the truth and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it should just be all out there, televised, everything, so that way everybody can see what's going on and it's transparent, and you get to see everything happen live.
Okay.
So
Very fair. So few people commented here in the chat. Renee says that Smark will come back to kick his ass. I completely agree. Let's see. All right.
One camera is good enough. I mean, one camera is fine, but
Yeah. Renee says it should be, but it won't because it's federal. I agree with you on that. Yes, yes. But I feel like if there could be an exception. And I'm not saying that because like I personally want one. I just feel like the pressure of what the media wants, what society wants could, in this case, because of the public figure that Charlie Kirk was, might, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, we typically don't broadcast federal trials, but we'll make an exception in this case because of X, Y, and Z. I could see that. That's kind of part of why I'm entertaining this. But then also, why go through all of this kind of big hoopla of, let's do, an argument and spend the day in court of why they, it should or shouldn't be like, if it's just not going to happen, I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I heard K-Dog says, I heard the judge was going to allow cameras with restrictions. I did see some of that too. Part of it where it was specific that they wouldn't show him in handcuffs or any shackles or whatnot. But then I also read, and I didn't see it myself, but I did read that at one point the camera kind of did capture his handcuffs. And then the cameraman was like, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm like, dude, if this is your chance to be like, we should be here capturing this, and then you fuck up like that, like, yeah, Renee's saying they may have one camera. Renee says she wants to watch it.
You think he's guilty?
I think we've seen a lot pointing to an overwhelming amount of could he have done this? Renee's just like, yes. With that being said, I do think there's a lot of conspiracy theories with this. It's a very complex case because I think of a lot of people's political opinions, religious opinions. I think everything kind of is tied into this. I will say, and y'all, I know last show I talked about, pretrial hearings and why watching those and listening to them are so important. Y'all, this is one of those trials where it's super important. And if you have not been listening and watching, do so. Because this is where, and it's happening right now, where the defense is trying to get, actually I did take some notes on this. The defense is trying to get, all right, let me back up. Hold on. I think the defense is trying to, oh my gosh, it's like in my head and I can't get it out right now. So pause that. It will come back to me.
They're trying to get a what? Like a...
Hey, Charlie 16, good to see you. My stepdaughter graduated from that college. Oh, that's interesting. Did you tell me that?
Was it Utah State?
I think the defense is trying to use a lot of, and again, this is their job. This is a defense attorney's job. There was a lot of pre-trial, the media showing a lot about Tyler Robinson and the kind of hunt for him. Again, everything that's, it's like, it's been a long day, y'all. I can't quite get the words out the way. It's like in my head. But the kind of play-by-play that the media and the people want, in that we kind of get when y'all remember the manhunt was going on for Tyler.
33 hours, man. It took 33 hours.
But it took a while. It did. And they arrested one person, the elderly gentleman who said it was him. And
that guy was nuts. That guy's insane.
there was a lot to it. So as much as we, the public, are like following this, like what we think is in real time, all
I
of
think
that can be used by the defense to kind of weave and poke holes and say, you know, my client is not getting a fair trial because of X, Y, and Z or anything. It just gives them that much more to be able to fight back with. And I mean, that can be said about any trial, to be honest, and that's a defense attorney's job. But it's like, at what cost? You know, the investigators could have, I don't know. It's very interesting now, the world that we're in, because we can say this about a lot of trials. We're going to be talking about Luigi Mangione soon, and this is very much part of that too. It's, you know, we, the public, can follow along on social media and the news, and, you know, all these things are going out, and it's like, okay, that's great. But it comes with a downside, because if this is really the person that did it, we're now giving the defense a lot to say, you know, reasonable doubt, or this wasn't fair, or whatnot.
Danny, the crime scene was a big chessboard, and those pieces were being moved in certain directions. Like the old man, somebody moved his piece on the board, and he acted out what he acted out. I don't know. It's just funny how 3 months later. Did this happen in September?
It was the week after CrimeCon.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So 3 months to the day, or 3 weeks, 3 months, and whatever. And the United States government just approved a huge amount of money towards Israel.
Hey, Carol.
So.
Okay, Doug. So Charlie16, okay, thank you for so eloquently saying what my brain just couldn't get out. They are tainting the jury pool. Yes. Absolutely. We're going to see that. We're going to see that argued. I think this is actually a good segue to also kind of just go into Luigi Mangione. So he has been on the news as well this week. He has been in court for the suppression hearing in regards to the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. So again, you know, pretrial hearings, pretrial motions, y'all watch and listen and pay attention. This is very important stuff, because in Luigi Mangione's case, the judge is going to continue to weigh whether key evidence, including the 9mm handgun, a notebook, and Luigi's statements to police, will be allowed at trial. If these aren't added in, that's a big.
I already told you what's going to happen with him.
You did, but do you want to say it again for people that might have missed it?
He's not going to get the death penalty, and he clearly. Oh man, I can't say he's going to walk, but just 2 days back to back, police have erroneously gathered evidence against him. So what you just said could happen. So the last 2 days, there's been some major information about the, you know, erroneously gathered evidence against him, or yeah.
So that's an excellent point, Beckham. Thank you for mentioning that. So
you might go into further detail, but that's kind
we are. But that set it up perfectly. So thank you. So friend of the show, Cheryl McCullum. She has the podcast called Zone 7. Cheryl has been on this channel before. I've been on her podcast as well in regards to the Karen Reed trial. But Cheryl, her most recent episode this past Friday, talked about the Luigi Mangione case in regards to, it was her and Joshua Schiffer breaking down like policing 101, always get a warrant, like get the warrant. And it was not done in this case. And they went into, their whole episode went into a lot of detail. So if you guys are interested in listening to that, go over to the Zone 7 podcast and check that out. But just to kind of briefly talk about it with you guys, as Beckham was kind of starting to bring up. So We got to see newly presented body camera footage, and it showed the moment that police confronted Luigi inside a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So remember, they found him there after somebody called in 5 days after CEO Thompson was shot in Manhattan. So the court is going to be examining the legality of the Altoona police encounter, because this is going to, the judge is going to need to look at whether officers did, in fact, really need that warrant before searching his backpack, and whether his recorded statements, and this is important, whether those statements were made before he was properly advised of his Miranda rights. So the body camera footage that I just mentioned, it shows police officers walking directly to the back of the McDonald's restaurant. They saw Luigi sitting there wearing a face mask and working on a laptop. Officers asked him to lower his mask, provide his name, and to show identification. He told officers his name was Mark Rosario and handed over what police are now saying was a fake New Jersey driver's license, which was one of two aliases that he is believed to have used while he was evading capture for these 5 days. The part of like the notebook that had things written in it, that police had kind of described. We've been hearing the word manifesto go around for the last couple of months. So what we learned was there was a to-do list that was found in his backpack. Some of the examples of the notes was keep momentum, FBI slower overnight, change hats, shoes, take a bus or train west, and then pluck eyebrows. Again, the handgun, silencer, and loaded magazine were also found.
Remember those pictures that we were looking at on the show, and they didn't even look like the same person? How crazy that was.
It was, and the one
everybody agreed. Everybody in the chat, we had
it looked like a woman.
20 people say, "Oh, that's not the same person." That nobody agreed. I mean, everybody that we had in the chat agreed that pretty much that there was 2 different people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was wild back then.
Yeah, I know exactly which pictures we're talking about. Yeah. So just to kind of wrap this up, so the defense is continuing to argue again that all this evidence recovered from his backpack should be suppressed because, again, they opened that backpack and searched it without a warrant and questioned him unlawfully before reading his rights. So one of the things that was talked about on the Zone 7 podcast with Cheryl McCollum was, again, the Altoona Police Department, when they got that phone call from that employee at that McDonald's, it wasn't just there's somebody here being suspicious. It was, I think this is this person. So the officers who were responding already knew the potential of it could be this person. It could not be, but it could be. So I don't understand where the disconnect was in regards to the officers. You know, they didn't just stumble upon him and have to make that kind of quick thinking decision. It was, they were given that potential. I don't know. There's just, when the defense lays it out, I'm like, they make a lot of good points that officers seem to kind of fuck up. Beckham, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, he did hand over the ID.
The fake one?
Yeah. It wasn't okay. So it would okay. So there was. Oh man, how do you put it? I don't know. I'd have to ask like Charlie on this because there was an emergency. You know, it wasn't. I mean, there was a manhunt pretty much going on, and an emergency purposes that you could bypass the whole warrant thing. So I don't know. It's tricky, man. That's beyond what I know there. But it was in a manhunt and it's sort of an emergency. If you want to, they're gonna have to clarify what type of to get by that. There's gonna have to be clarification on that because there was a manhunt.
Yes.
Right, and there was a threat. I mean, was there a threat to? I mean, I don't know. There's just a, I don't know. Was there a threat to society in a sense?
I mean, the way the killing was done, yeah, I believe it was. I mean, yes, it was clearly
That's
targeted,
what
but it
I'm
was
saying.
also
That's
in the
where it's
middle
gonna
of
get very
New
muddy
York.
right there. But there was a manhunt, but again, wasn't considered an emergency. Like I'm straight up like 911 right there in the moment.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Did you hear about the text from the officer that he was texting with another police officer and joked?
Mm-mm.
There
No, I
was
did not.
joking of, "Hey, if it's really him, I'll buy you a." Oh God, what type of food was it? I forget, but it was basically like, for example, like, yeah, if this is, if it turns out to be him, yeah, I'll buy you a donut or
Okay, so Charlie,
type of thing. And it's like,
yeah,
wait, what the hell? But again, so okay, I'm asking a question. Obviously, Beckham, I don't expect you to have the answer. And I see you guys in the chat. We will be getting to your
yeah, because
comments
Charlie
very
has a
soon.
really good answer to what I was talking about.
I'll get to that in 1 second, I promise. But okay, so when officers did go and it's him, no one said, "Hey, like, we need to call a soup." I'm not stealing this idea. Cheryl McCollum, Zone 7 with Josh Schiffer, they talked about this and laid it out so good. No one thought, "Hey, we need to call a supervisor. We should Mirandize him." Like, no one thought to stop and do that. And
I
that
mean,
gives the defense that kind of wiggle room.
they had him in the sights. They could have followed him anywhere. They could have gathered, they could have came together and said, "This is a strategy. We'll let him keep his peace there, right?" Like, and then if he leaves, or once they were to get to go, and they were to formally say, "This is how we're going to do it," based on what you're saying, right? They knew he was there. They didn't have to like go in on that moment. If they walk, somebody walked in and say, "Oh, that looks kind of like him," but like, should we strategize? How do we approach him? If the police officer was not certain of the right policy and procedure to go up to him in this sense, he should have gotten, like you said, supervisory advice, or like a strategized in the moment. They had eyes on him. He's not going to go anywhere. They would have been able to grab him anywhere, or
Right.
after he left, or in the parking lot when he was leaving in the parking lot. He might have still been eating his breakfast. It's almost like they didn't have to go in that moment, you know.
Hmm.
So right, they could have strategized a little bit better in that moment. They didn't have to rush it.
Yeah.
He was literally hating breakfast. It's not like he was going to attack somebody. He was basically on the run.
Right. So I know there's been a lot of, I want to start back.
See, when it comes to investigation, apprehension, and prosecution, everything has to be done by policy and procedure, man. You have to follow
Exactly.
everything to the T.
All right, so let's see. Charlie's saying, and I know I'm a little bit behind in this. There are 3 ways to get evidence without a warrant. You do not have to read Miranda to gather a statement. It is not required in all cases. Search incident to arrest is legal, but opening the notebook may not have been. Okay. Stupid, never write anything down. I know, Renee, it's like, ugh, but always tell cops you want an attorney. Right. Hey, Weird Debbie, good to see you. Or just do anything illegal. Kane, did you have the comment that now I'm not seeing? Oh, here it is. I can't believe he has fans. Fans is putting it mildly. There are full-on supporters on social media saying like how to like basically get him like don't find him guilty and here's how to do it. If you're picked for jury, like it's crazy. I've never seen anything like this on that end. Let's see. Charlie 16, if the officers had reasonable belief that he was a wanted armed felon, they have a lot of latitude in that case.
Well, possibly. It depends on the state. I bet. Well, I know it's gonna be federal.
Exigent circumstance. He was wanted in connection to a violent felony. He's not a.
Yeah, I mean,
I know
yeah, but
my
at
example.
but at the same time, now it's coming out that between the time of arrest, apprehension, and and movement, um, police could have violated some sort of violated some of the policies
Mm-hmm. And
with evidence. So it's now you could get all that thrown out basically based on error.
in the defense, they're doing their job. So,
Right.
but it's also frustrating if you're on a certain side of this, because there's clear divide
Of
here with
course. Yeah, of
his
course.
Luigi Mangione's case. But
I
yeah,
just always,
there's
I just always said he wasn't going to get the death penalty. He was going to get life, and everybody's happy. He stays in prison. He keeps his fans. They're happy. He's happy. The judge is happy. The judge doesn't have to, make a, do the death thing. So that's what I've always thought.
the death thing. Okay, back up. You have been on this show as a co-host for how long? We did
So
the Manson saga for how long? And your eloquent wording is the death thing.
the death sentencing.
Wow.
So I've always just said he's going to get life.
On a side note, I'm looking for a new True Crime and Chill co-host, one who knows how to not say the death thing. Renee is saying they thought he had a weapon. They were not letting him leave.
Well, they could have still followed him.
Mm-hmm. If he was armed in a public area, he could have taken a hostage.
wasn't
That's an
gonna
excellent point.
Yeah, but he wasn't going to. I think they had a better profile of him already.
I know, but that's what James is saying is not out of the realm of possibilities in regards to an argument that could be made. Sorry, I jumped. If he was on the run, more of a reason to make the felony apprehension on the spot. And Charlie, I know you have a lot of experience with this, and this is kind of a bit more of your area of expertise. So I do want us to focus a lot and take what you're saying with a lot of weight. Okay, Doc.
Hey, I'm glad I made somebody laugh tonight.
Charlie's saying the standard is what did the officer know at the time, and based on training and experience, hindsight is 2020. Absolutely, hindsight is 2020.
Right. They had. I'm pretty sure they had a better profile than the media did, and everybody else. And they're on their, all the sleuths, all the true crime sleuths. I'm pretty sure they had a better profile, for sure, than everybody thought they. They were like, dude, everybody thought it was two different people, or on the pictures. So I mean,
looked like a woman to me.
There was feminine features in one of the pictures for sure. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I guess Charlie, and just openly, as we're just all hanging out talking about this, I guess my mind goes to when the police got that call. Again, what are the odds that it could be Luigi Mangione? But it was, the call was, this is the guy. This could be him. He's potentially here. So they knew that before they went.
They knew this was a hit, dude. They knew they already had they had a pretty good profile, and they knew that he already had done what he was going to do. There was nobody else he was after, and they were just looking for him to bring him to justice. That was it.
So no, James, I 100% agree with you on this. So James is saying he was desperate with the cops closing in. Taking a hostage is totally possible. But also not just that, we see this all the time, where, death by suicide, in regards to suicide by cop. We did not know this. We did not have we have the manifesto now. Again, was it retrieved legally? That's a whole other argument, but we know so much now we didn't then. So yeah. James, I'm 100% in agreement with you on that. There's a million possibilities, and could he want to fight out thinking he can outrun them? Could he take a hostage to try to escape? Could he set up a situation where it's death by cop, ultimately him committing suicide, knowing knowing he's not going to win that. Totally possible. Charlie's saying the legal term that's accepted is the reasonable officer standard. He didn't look that obvious to me in the McDonald's. He looked different. I thought, good eye by the McDonald's employee. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of good eyes, we welcome to the show, the Liz.
Hello. I finally made it.
Look at that tree in the back. Look at you being all festive.
How's it going?
Good, good.
What's up, Liz?
Is it nice? I know. It looks so nice up here. I'm just chilling on my
cute.
couch tonight. I'm not doing anything official. Except
I'm just hoping
being the
we
Brian
get
Walsh
a glimpse of
correspondent.
Betsy tonight.
She's sleeping, but I bet she'll come over. She's right in front of me.
Oh. So we're just talking about, Charlie says, hey, Liz. Zach says, hey, Liz.
What's up, Zach?
Yeah, so we're just talking about Luigi Mangione. We're just kind of wrapping that up in regards to what has been going on in court. And have you been following that, Liz? Kind of the latest, or no?
Not real. A little bit. I think last I heard they were maybe what were they gonna throw out? They didn't have a search warrant, or they didn't have a, what was it, like last week that came out?
Miranda rights. They didn't have a search warrant.
Miranda.
Jesus, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Wolf I mean, it's not like they're going to dismiss everything.
Yeah, no, but I think he's just going to get life, like I've always said from the beginning.
James Watson's being a jerk, saying, "Liz, your tree's crooked."
I think I'm crooked. Actually, I'm like literally on a stand on my couch, so it's me. It's not the tree.
So, yeah, that's kind of that, in regards to Luigi Mangione. Again, these pre-trial hearings are definitely important. So we all
it's all about
follow them. Now I'm thinking Christmas
trees right now.
So, but we'll keep you guys posted. So perfect timing with Liz being here, the official Brian Walsh correspondent. So I said at the beginning of the show that we took the day off on Monday and we went to courthouse. We were able to sit in on the Brian Walsh case, but a lot has happened this week and especially the last 2 days. So
God, Danny, I've seen you
to Liz.
I know. You haven't talked about anything yet, right?
Nope.
Like with this? No.
With
nothing.
Walsh, no.
All right. So I don't know about you. I don't know if you got bored, but sitting in court was actually super interesting for me. Even the boring shit, I enjoy it. We got some of the medical stuff and the blood testing at the end, which I like. I was a little surprised there weren't more people there watch. I'm just trying to think of like overall overviews of being there. There's a lot of press, which is expected. There was that student group, but I'm surprised there weren't really other people there. I'm a little surprised. I don't know. I feel like there was a few of her friends and coworkers that were being called as witnesses, and they probably can't. They're not allowed to just sit in there and watch right before they go on as a witness.
No,
I don't think they're allowed to do that. So, no. Gee, I feel like today everything got like blown out of the water that I was. I don't know. It was crazy. And watching, so for those of you that didn't notice today, if you're not around here, I don't know if you would have like seen this in the news like we did. The prosecution rested yesterday and finished. They called, I think I heard like 47 witnesses or something, which sounds like a lot, but I wasn't able to watch all of last week yet. I've watched most of this week. But so the prosecution rested. And people were expecting Brian to go on the stand because I'm pretty sure the defense they have to make their case. Their case was that she died unexpectedly or whatever. So they had to provide
unexpected death. Yeah.
You can have experts, obviously. Yeah. So you can have experts saying, yeah, this is a possible thing that can happen. Doesn't mean it did happen. So the judge asked him today if he was going to testify and he said no. And she asked him a whole bunch of questions like, have you had anything like alcohol to drink in the last few days? Have you had any medication? Has your lawyer explained this to you? Have you had a chance to ask questions? And he said he did not want to testify. And his attorney, Larry Tipton, did you know he sounded so defeated when he stood up and was kind of like, I don't know. I don't remember what he said. I don't know if he said we have no witnesses or we're, the defense rests or something like that. But that's
He
so
said they will not
contrary
be
to how I've
calling
heard
any
him in this
witnesses.
so far. Yeah. He just sounded like deflated. It was the weirdest thing.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you think? I feel like there's some tactic. I feel like there's something that's going to come up and there's some tactic, but I'm not a legal expert. I'm not even close to one. So I don't know.
So
I don't know what you guys think.
couple points to go with. One, y'all, if you are not following the Liz on Instagram, the Liz Files do that. Two, Sue O'Connell, who is a news reporter. I mean, she is amazing, a veteran. She knows her stuff. We got to see her and talk to her there on Monday. She covers this case in
She's
really
great.
short Instagram clips on her, on her page on Instagram. Follow her because she's been breaking everything down. So
Yep.
Karen Diamond from Australia says, hi, Liz. Great to see you.
Hi.
So, okay, let's jump back to earlier in this week to Monday. So, one, Brian Walsh's mother was there in the courtroom. She was like, what, 2 rows ahead of us? What was your thoughts on her or how she was in the courtroom or whatnot? Because I definitely have some thoughts, but I want to hear yours.
So I think when the trial started, we all saw like the first time he walked into court, she like blew him a kiss and he was like beaming and happy to see her. And it was kind of like, ugh, this is how this is going to be. It's funny though. I noticed she looked incredibly just stone-faced when she was sitting. She wasn't doing anything. She would occasionally have like a word or two with a court officer and was friendly. Like they were nice to her. But when everybody like, were we standing up when they brought him into the courtroom? She would like stand up and she'd just look at him like this. She'd sit there with this look and it wasn't like an angry look. It was like a, I don't even know how to describe it. She had this just kind of like determined, she didn't smile at him or anything. I don't know if somebody told her don't blow him kisses in court anymore. I mean, she was very quiet. You'll probably talk about how it appeared that she did not watch any of the evidence videos that they were showing at all. She literally, her head was down the other direction. And then yesterday, 2 friends of Anna's testified, and I only heard some of the I only saw some of the clips and heard Sue O'Connell actually talking about this. She like made she was the most animated she's been listening to this friend of Anna's. Apparently, this girl said that Anna told her that her mother-in-law said a psychic told her that Anna was having an affair. So this girl is saying this on the stand and she practically like does a little laugh out loud. And she kind of rolled her eyes when the photo of Anna and the girl was on the screen. So I mean, I'm not surprised. Obviously, I don't know her. I don't know the situation. I don't know anything, but I've been so put off by her. Everything that I learn and everything that we see, and it's not like we're seeing much. So I don't know. What do you think? Probably the same thing mostly.
Yeah, it was. So when we went on Monday, yes, I was there to listen to what the state and the defense was saying, but I'm a big observer of people. And that's one of the things I said to you. I was observing her, observing Brian, observing his mannerisms. Like I wanted to, all those little things I was trying to see. And I noticed she was 2 rows ahead of us. Anytime there was something on the screen in regards to video footage of him at these stores purchasing items or him pulling up to places and then walking up to the dumpsters with heavy trash bags, she wouldn't look. Like there was a screen to her left where it was a very big screen. She could have seen it. She was not looking that way when all of us were looking that way. The defense, who were, to the side in front of her at an angle, they each had cameras like laptops where this footage was being shown. But I'm watching and I'm like, at her angle, even if she's looking that way, there'd be bodies blocking her. So she wouldn't be able to see the footage. But I kind of noticed her head, like Liz had mentioned, would be down. At one point I saw her, kind of fiddling with stuff in her purse, kind of, playing with her winter gloves, like kind of putting them down and this and that. And during one of the breaks, I was just like, I am determined. I went over to where she sat and then got myself at that angle and looked over. I'm like, she would not be able to see the defense's laptops with this footage. So it was clear she was not watching the footage that was being shown, or when pictures were shown, because there was a lot of pictures shown of what was recovered from the dumpsters, or receipts of what he would purchase. So she was not looking at the screen for any of that. The day we were there, I can't speak to any other days, but when we were there, she was not. Brian Walsh, I noticed he under the table would like kind of twirl his foot a lot. He would constantly twirl it, kind of go like that with his hands. At one point, and again, this could just be timing. And Liz, I can't remember if I mentioned this to you because we talked about so much there. At one point when one of the medical examiners was on and he was kind of talking about like the different possibilities of death, even though this was a no body case. At one point when he said the word strangulation, so Brian's foot, that was just kind of going round and round and round. It just stopped. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I'm just going to make a mental note of that. No. Doesn't mean anything, but it was just I'm like, well, that's an interesting place to kind of just abruptly stop. In regards to the footage that we saw, Liz, did you want to kind of go over some of what we saw that hadn't yet been kind of shown to the public?
I think it was like extended versions pretty much of the little clips that have been out, right? Mm-hmm. So we saw purchase he made at a Walgreens, which I think was hydrogen peroxide, like bottles of hydrogen peroxide or something. So we saw that. We saw purchases at a CVS, which was the same. What was the Walgreens? I feel like the Walgreens purchase was like not as important. That was the first video that they showed. I think the CVS, he was buying all this hydrogen peroxide. Yeah. And then the Lowe's videos. Like we've seen at least the one already. We know that. So the first video from Lowe's, he's shopping around for a bunch of stuff. He goes to the self-checkout and you can, I think we've already seen stills of this, but you can see he's wearing like latex gloves and he's wearing a mask, and it is still COVID. So like, I guess you could kind of explain that away, but he's got an entire cart full of all sorts of stuff and a whole stack of the big, like the what does my husband call those? The fuck it buckets, like the $5 big 5-gallon buckets that you can buy at Lowe's, right?
A lot of people, like at least here in New England, will fill it with like ice or salt for the winter and leave it on your porch.
Yeah. Yep. So it was a big stack of those. So you couldn't really see very clearly everything that was going in the cart. And I'm not sure what happened. An associate at Lowe's came over to like help him take things out of the cart and scan. I don't know if it was to make it quicker because they like scanned and then put it in a cart or whatever. But while he was, and this is funny that you mentioned the twirling and stuff like that and the fidgeting in court, he was very much the same way, in a casual way, like if that makes any sense. While he was standing there waiting for the associate to come over and to scan stuff, he's kind of, the hands are in and out of the pockets. He's kind of like going on one foot, going on the other. You could see there was like nervous energy there for sure. And I wasn't totally certain of what I was looking at, but I was pretty sure I saw a hacksaw go into the cart, which they've already mentioned. Like we already knew that was something they recovered. So once they started going over the items that they found and whether they tested them for blood, the hacksaw, like the exact one that was on the receipt, was there. They found it. That was part of one of the trash pulls from Peabody. So I wrote everything down and I don't have my notes compiled, but there is a number of the items they did find blood on. So then they preserve the samples to send off for DNA testing, which is really interesting how they do that. And I think it would bore you to tears probably, but I listened to the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Liz, if there was a chance that you would ever change your career, being a news reporter, my God, you were right there with like taking notes, like impressive. If there's a Danny After Dark payroll at some point in life, you're on it.
Actually, no, look at it's right here. I seriously like sat there and I'm like, this was the problem I had when I was in school. I was like, I'm going to miss things if I don't write this down. obviously later on in graduate school, they sent it to you all as a PowerPoint. But, back in the day, you had to sit there and scribble frantically.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all these notes so I wouldn't forget anything.
Oh
my
gosh,
son said to me this morning, can I take this on the bus to write in? I'm like, no, you can't have this one. You can have another one.
Hey, Amy's Positive Pathways. Good to see you. Liz, did you meet Liz at the True Crime Podcast Festival here in July? Amy was there. I can't remember if the two of you
I'm
met.
awful. I've met a ton of people and I only remember like 2 of them. So definitely a possibility.
Oh my God, Liz, you sound like Becca. I'm like, oh my God, at CrimeCon, I met so many people just giving out all my stickers.
No, it's just because I have a terrible memory and I don't pay attention. Not because I think I'm popular or have fans.
Amy's saying the same thing. I met a lot of people. Hey, Shelly.
Yeah.
So,
see? Yeah. She knows what's up.
Good to see you, Shelly. So a few of the things that we saw when we went on Monday that I want a Liz sticker. I know I need to make Liz stickers. One of the video footage, like the extended footage of what you were saying was, and there's stills everywhere. The
second Lowe's footage.
Yeah. So he went into, was that the same one he brought his son? I think that was the same trip.
That was the one that he had his kid with him. Yeah, his kid's like playing with the scanning gun and scanning things. Ugh.
Liz went Saturday too. So Brian Walsh, if you've been following this case, he has been seen, and it was brought up in trial. He went place to place to place, picking up all these different cleaning supplies, home goods, the towels that he purchased with a gift card from that his wife had. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walgreens, CVS, all these
home
places.
goods, whatever.
One of the Lowe's trips, you see him walk in and he has his kid with him, the oldest kid, who at the time was 6 years old. They blurred out the kid's face, but the second, at least for myself, when I saw that clip when it starts and he had his kid with him, I'm like, oh my God. Keep in mind, this is the same 6-year-old son that he used his iPad, just do all those Google searches. So they get the card.
I got to talk about
the what?
So anyway, you continue with the story, but I got to talk about the poor kid in the iPad later.
Okay. So at checkout, because Brian Walsh is doing self-checkout and he has his kid with him. And there is, what's it called? Like the scanning gun that you can use, right? And his son, because again, to a kid, that's a toy. So his son is, helping to scan these items. And we all know what these items are going to be used for, the dismemberment and disposal of Anna Walsh, which is this kid's mother. But the kid's just helping his dad scan the items. And at one point, Brian, kind of realizing that there's a camera at self-checkout, legit, y'all, you can find the pictures online. He looks and then goes like this, runs his hands through his hair. And it's like, you narcissistic fuck. Like, what the hell? So again, the whole defense's theory is she went to bed and he went up and she suddenly died unexpectedly. And, in the state that he was in, like this, in shock. And this was how he reacted. I'm sorry. Based on what we saw, he does not look in a state where it's like what the defense is trying to put forward. But I digress. Okay, Liz, yes, please. The iPad.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think we have lag. It's probably my fault because I keep saying something and you don't hear me right away.
There is a little lag.
Okay. It's probably me. I was trying to find a picture of the little grin into the checkout camera. That was definitely a time. Yeah, that was a time. Whoops. Hold on.
No, you're good.
Good. I thought I
You're good.
hold on. I thought I closed you out by accident.
No, I can still see you and hear you. While you're getting that back up, Amy says, I feel his mom's involved. That has been a lot of conversation. A lot of conversation.
I'm going to continue. There was one other time, saw something, heard something, whatever. One was, I think, when they showed his kid walking in with him, you could kind of almost hear a little kind of like, but then when he did that at the camera, the same thing happened. Like it wasn't really audible, but you could feel the whole room was like, oof, it was so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So bad. And that poor kid, I just feel so bad for his kids. So I'm going to go off on a little tangent because I was doing some reading and watching today. I sent Danielle this video that I found, and it just popped up as a recommended video for me. This wasn't something I went looking for, but I saw the still of it when it was like, investigator discusses Brian Walsh's mother, something like that. And the still was a photo of our favorite Massachusetts state trooper, Yuri Buchanan. And I was like, oh shit, I got to check this out. So I did. This was from the spring. So this might have gotten lost in the Karen Reed shuffle because I'm not sure I was aware that this happened. Like, I think I was now thinking about it, but I didn't watch any of this. So I watched this video today, most of it. It's probably about an hour long. I watched like half hour, 45 minutes of it. So this is when they were over the spring and summer discussing whether the device searches that they conducted at Brian Walsh's house were done legally or whatever. So they wanted to determine the defense wanted to say, they searched these devices without authorization. Yes, it's our buddy Bukaki. I was so excited. So he went over with a couple other, I think another trooper or two and a Cohasset detective or two on January 5th or something, a few days after this all happened, to interview Brian and his mother. And I don't know what they were talking to Brian about, but he was going to talk to the mother, Diana. So apparently he sat down with her and she was like madly texting away on her phone. And he asked, what's your date of birth and your name? Because if they put in a police report, they have to have those things. And she ignored him. Like she just acted like he didn't even say it the first few times. And then she started saying, oh, of course, I really respect what you do. I only have one son and I'm helping try to find his wife, and saying that she was looking up PIs in Washington, D.C. And she showed him on her phone some agency she found. I think this guy might have actually testified last week. I should probably watch that, but they didn't do anything. She was just looking this up, I think. So he's talking a little bit to her. And then the three kids were in the house, obviously. They had gone upstairs, and the oldest one came back down and came over to his grandmother and the trooper. And him and the detective that were there asked the kid, would you be willing to talk to us? Like, if we ask you some questions, would you want to talk with us and answer? And he nodded his head. So Diana grabbed him and made sure he was on her lap, right? So let me see because I want to get this. This bothered me so much. So they asked something about the phones. So he asked her what happened on January 2nd, I think. And on that day, Brian showed up at her house in Swampscott, said, I lost my phone. I have to use yours so I can try and get in touch with Anna, which is completely dumb because then the next couple of sentences, he's talking about how she said that she bought all three of the kids their own iPads and phones and AirTags. So I don't know who he was kidding if there was 8 phones in the house. And he's like, I have to drive to Swampscott to use your phone. It's stupid. It's bullshit. So anyway, the kid came down and the kid sat with the grandmother, and the trooper said, tell me about the last time, when you saw your mom. So he said he remembered waking up because he heard a noise, and he went downstairs and he saw her on the couch under his blanket, that he left a blanket down there. And she was in her pink pajamas with something. And he noticed his iPad was on a counter, and he picked it up and it wasn't working for some reason. So he said he took it to his mom to fix it or unlock it or whatever happened. So she did that. And then she got off the couch. She went upstairs. She got dressed in her real clothes, and she came down with a duffel bag and a purse over her shoulder. And she said something about her ride was there, or he said her ride was there. And he said that he told her, I love you. And she said, I love you more. And then her ride was there and she left. So this is what the kid said happened. So Bukkake asked, I can't believe I'm just saying that, but I can't even say his real name with a straight face. So he asked the kid if he remembered seeing the car or seeing headlights from the car that came to pick her up. And he said, no, he didn't. He was just saying what he thought happened, or what, I don't know if someone told him what happened. I mean, this is clearly all fabricated. We know now. So he started to ask the question, and remember, Diane is still sitting there with the kid on her lap, starts to ask the question, do you know where your mom is? And as he got to, do you know where your mom, like, Diana interrupted him at that point, started flailing her arms around and cut in her cell phone. Do you know where her cell phone is? And the kid, said, no, he didn't. And he never got to finish that question of, do you know where your mom is? She literally cut in, she cut him off. She did some weird freaking out. And the kid didn't answer that question because he didn't get it out. And then the kid took off again for a little while, went off. So they talked a little bit more to her. They went into the kitchen. I don't know what was happening. I don't know I don't know what else was happening that day. But the kid came back over at some point when him and one of the detectives were standing in the kitchen, and he walked to the basement door and he opened it just enough to fit his own body through. He didn't open it all the way, and did this and put his hand out to Yuri. And then and he kind of said, he noticed a child lock on the door, and he said, you shouldn't go in the basement alone. And then she swooped in and opened the door and pulled him out and was like, don't go down there, and shut the door. The kid slid into the basement door and put his hand out towards the trooper. And then she came over and, don't go in there, and pulled him away. I don't know if the child appropriate interview that they were going to do with the kids ever happened. I read ages ago in one of the first affidavits that he scheduled it, and then he said he didn't want to traumatize them further or expose them to anything, and he canceled it. So I don't know if that happened. Yes. Yep. So he had cooperated, I guess, to the point of saying, yeah, let's get, because the lawyers asked Bukkake there, you don't have any, this was on cross. He said, you don't have specific training to interview children, little children in this type of situation. And he said, no, I have, training in interviews and interrogation, but not specifically in children. So then he said, were you aware that something like that was going to happen? And he said he was aware that it was supposed to happen. But again, I read in one of these affidavits that Brian canceled that appointment. So I don't know if they ever ended up going, or if that was something that they do as part of when they take them out of the home, because obviously they got taken out of the home. So a lot of the commenters, as I'm watching this live, there's some people from Cohasset in the chat, supposedly. I mean, I can't verify it. And apparently the kids are still in state custody. I thought they were with her sister in Canada, but I didn't realize there's a whole citizenship issue there. I don't think they can just send these kids off to another country, So apparently the kids are separated, supposedly. So some of these neighbors and friends are trying to, why can't they just be together? And I'm like, did the oldest, did he know more than the others? The other two were little, but I mean, it might be a foster homes issue, getting 3 kids into one place. I have no idea. But I was texting you all afternoon. I have no idea how his mother was not on either witness list. I don't get it. There was a babysitter too, who was in and out, and he actually, Bukkake testified when he got to the house, she was leaving, and he didn't know at the time who that was, but he asked and found out, and that was their nanny or their babysitter. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Oh, wait, Beckham's still lurking in the background. So, yeah, I am floored. I am floored that nobody thought that they didn't number of reasons. They didn't have a home that was able to take all the kids, or it could be for safety. Yeah. So there
Yes,
could
it was
be
a
any number of reasons
2-year-old,
they
a
didn't
4-year-old, and a
together.
6-year-old. And this was at the time of the murders.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the more I thought about that, that's horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a terrifying interaction that he had with her and that kid. And then they weren't going to call her as a witness. They're not going to call a 6-year-old. I mean, like, I know there's cases where a judge will talk to a kid in some situation, but that's not going to happen. But was it not even discussed? Why did nobody call her? I don't know. I think it's insane.
Because he drove to her place, disposed of items in her apartment or condo complex's dumpster, said he needed to use her phone. I don't get how there would did he mention something, like simple questions that I don't know how she wasn't called.
She definitely knows. She knows something. I don't know what extent her involvement or anything is, but she 100% knows. The fact that when Bukkake sat down with her and she was like ignoring him and texting crazily and then used the excuse, oh, I'm looking up private investigators. She said, I only have one son and I'm adamant in helping find, his wife. I'm like, I only have one son.
Mm.
And then the interactions with the grandkid, I don't know.
Charlie 16, I think this is, I think we all feel this. So I was listening, and I was messaging Liz earlier when I was at the gym, and I was listening to Defense Diaries, their live show from, y'all, if you're not following them, definitely do so.
Right.
But they play the trial each day, and they give their commentary as defense attorneys. And what Bob and Allie were saying today, and I'm just pulling up my text from Liz so that I call what I said. I'm jumping ahead a little bit. So in regards to today, when the defense rested without calling a single witness, Bob and Allie were saying that the defense blew it. And if Brian is found guilty, he could very easily claim ineffective counsel. He did I actually took a quote. Bob was saying that Brian was the only one there that night, the night that Anna was murdered. Let's just call it like it is. And Bob says, besides his mom. Bob was saying, so he feels it's going to be a really quick verdict, especially. So, okay, the jury does not know that Brian pled guilty to the 2 previous charges right before the trial started. So they do not know that he pled guilty to misleading police, and that he pled guilty to dismembering and disposing of Anna's body. They don't know that. So Bob was saying, since the judge will not be telling the jury that he pled guilty to those other 2 charges, the jury will most likely just have in their mind, after seeing everything that they did, that Anna was murdered. Could it, again, what type would it be? First degree, second, manslaughter?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like everything his lawyer does is like a tactic. I mean, the guy's known, he's done a couple of more high profile cases in the past. And even just watching him talk, you don't like how he's talking to the witnesses. Like, he sounds kind of patronizing, a little condescending, a little, I mean, he's doing his job. I have to say he's doing his job. It's not like he isn't. But being on the side that, we're on, I'm like, shut up. I mean, it must have been a tactic to plead guilty to those 2 charges that day, because they knew that they probably knew that the jury wouldn't be made aware of that, or they could argue for the jury to not be made aware of that. I'm still worried that the defense rests without any witnesses. Like I doubt he's just throwing in the towel. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he is, but maybe they realized that putting Brian on the stand was more of a risk than they wanted to take. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, he would have got right up on the stand and lied. He would have.
And
like, I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't trust him to
So-
tell the truth further than I could throw him.
So when we were there with Sue
Seriously.
O'Connell on Monday, she made the point that, so, I mean, any type of interview that we've seen from Brian, and especially, you know, him doing the hair thing, he's not going to come across as very likable. And the jury's
No,
going to
that's
see
right. She
that.
said he's not likable from everyone that she's talked to.
Mm-hmm. In regards, so I go back to on Defense Diaries today, they were talking about that. The opening statement from the defense was, "You're going to hear from Brian." So they were in opening statements saying, "Here's, you know, this is how we're going to prove sudden death syndrome, that she died unexpectedly, and here's how we're going to prove it. You're going to hear it from Brian." Well, Brian's not taking the stand. They're not calling a single witness to even go, you know, talk about this, you know, sudden death that Anna supposedly had. I thought, Liz, I believe I said this to you when we were there. I thought for sure the defense would, when it was time for their, you know, them stepping forward with presenting their side, if they're trying to say this happened and then this is how Brian reacted and this is why he reacted that way, wouldn't you put a psychologist or something on there to explain? Like, again, I'm not trying to help Brian Walsh here, but, you know, when people disassociate because of trauma, you know, in the X, Y, and Z, like, give me something. Even if it's bullshit, give me. You're not giving me anything.
No.
It was weird.
I saw something, and let me try and find it. I saw some, I don't know if I can find it, some response to I like posted on a couple of threads on this on Facebook today. Nothing major, but I think earlier in the morning, I posted something like, who is the defense supposed to call? And I'm not going to find it. So I think, I'm not going to find it.
No, it's all right.
Bukkake will never not be funny. There were at least one or two people from the medical examiner's office. There was a number of people from, and I don't know if this was like, I don't know if the lists actually got released. A number of forensics experts, which is interesting. Like, it seems like this changed very quickly last minute, because if they had all these forensics experts to testify about the material they found, the testing they did, whatever, that would be the defense against the fact that he murdered and dismembered her. And they literally, this 2 weeks that have gone by, they haven't denied. They've thrown some doubt, like he threw some doubt on some things, asking the witnesses questions on cross, but they haven't actually come out and said there was no dismemberment. There was no, like, they're not coming out strong trying to deny that. And like you said, the jury's see that. They're going to see that they're looking at a murder charge, and all they're seeing is all this evidence that she was cut up and thrown away. So I don't know how they are going to think otherwise. I don't know.
Yeah. So
It's
the
crazy.
judge asked them today in regards to closing arguments for tomorrow, who will be doing closing arguments and how much time. And they were estimating 45 minutes for each side. So
I doubt that. You really think Larry Tipton's going to talk for 45 minutes after he just like stood up with his tail between his legs today? What's he even going to talk about? He didn't call any witnesses. Yeah. I don't know what he would even talk about for 45 minutes. I mean, shit, what's the prosecutor even going to say at this point? You saw our witnesses, you saw no other evidence. That's it.
Yeah. I'm very curious how it's going to go tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I was just like, I hope tomorrow's a slow day at work because I want to listen.
I know. Are they planning on 9 o'clock, or is it going to be later?
I think it's 9.
I think it's probably 9, right? Yeah.
But
I mean,
let me revise that. Even though they're meeting at 9, the judge was going to, if there's any wording or any things that need to be changed on the ballot. So it might be pushed a little further into the day.
Oh, on the charge to the jury or whatever, or their instructions.
You guys went on Monday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Was there a follow-up to that, Beckham?
No, I just keep thinking today's Friday. I'm like, tomorrow's Saturday. What are y'all talking about?
Tony
No,
Stewart
I know.
says,
I've been messed up
Liz
all
has a
week.
bright tree. Dang, looks
It's
like
probably
she
it's
spent some
taking
time on it.
Monday off.
We love Liz's
I
tree.
gotta say it's pre-lit actually. This is it's my mom's tree. It's my mom's tree that she used to love. She put up and look at it and she loved it. So my husband suggested we use it this year, which is really nice. I used to be really, really like anti-fake Christmas tree. And we do usually always get a real one, and it's a mess and you have to water it and the cat nibbles at it. And this time we just took it out of a bag, we put it up, we put ornaments on it. I gotta say it was nice and easy. And it looks nice. So
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Looks
I won't
amazing.
distract with my tree the next time I come on.
So Beckham, you've heard you've heard me and Liz, talk tonight in the episode, but we've also, messaged, behind the scenes in regards to what's going on with this. Outsider looking in, what is your thoughts on this case? Or how do you think it's going to go?
I was trying to research the kind of relationship they had. The only thing I could really get is that she made like 5 times the salary that he made. They weren't intimate like over a year. So I'm not sure what type of relationship they had, but I kind of didn't seem very positive there since the murder. So I was just trying to think about what transpired, what caused him to do what he did. Yeah, completely sicko. And then involving the kids is just not even discussable.
They were in the house when it happened, regardless of where they were. Like they were in the house when it happened. There's no way around that.
Right.
Which is so messed up.
That's really messed up.
Yeah,
man.
and so I know. Yeah, she ended up making a lot of money I think she did real estate, and then she was doing like commercial property management was this job that she had. He like never really held a job down. He like did consulting and this and that. I don't think he ever had like an actual career besides being a scam artist. Like besides having family money and coasting on that and being a scam artist. I reread I think it was the sentencing memo from his federal art fraud trial. And it's funny because he seems to me from this, and this is one situation. This is 3 years that we've seen him, right? Read about him. In this sentencing memo, it talks about how long he ran this scam, how complex it was, the fact that he had to plan so many steps out, the fact that he comes from money and, didn't really have a career to anchor him. And it's funny because it seems such the opposite of what I feel like we have seen. I don't know if it was the lack of control with the art scam he ran. Clearly he planned it and ran it and stuff. Like this might have been something that got out of hand. Again, we don't know how involved other people in the house were. I don't know. But it was interesting. The sentencing memo was saying, he's good at what he does, which is being a scam artist, because it took several years and a lot of time to set this whole thing up. And I don't know. Beckham, she was having an affair or did have an affair with the guy that she met down in Washington, D.C. So the prosecution was trying to prove that he knew about that as like a motive, but the defense says there's no proof of that. So I think the one friend of hers who testified said that she had told Brian knew somehow that she had a crush on this guy, and like he said it was okay and it didn't bother him or something weird like that. I mean, she'd been living away for almost a year, I think. She got this job. And, you know, I don't know for sure, but she had a place in Washington with this new job that had bedrooms for all the kids. He was waiting at that point to get sentenced in this federal art fraud trial. And she wanted to move the kids down there, I'm sure. And he would have been in jail. So that's what makes the most sense to me, you know?
Yeah, that was one of the things that her friend testified on the stand. She said that Anna had told Brian, I have a crush on this guy, and Brian was fine with it because he's not the jealous type.
Yeah, how weird is that? But, you know, Anna, obviously not to like throw shade on anyone, especially her, she wrote this like glowing letter of him, you know, like to support him like as a character witness. Basically, all these people wrote like letters for him to the court when he was looking at the sentencing for this trial. You know, like he had a really tough life. You know, his upbringing was like probably like verbally, emotionally, if not physically abusive. He was always told he would amount to nothing, that kind of thing. You know, he's had a lot of struggles in his life, blah, blah, blah. So,
yeah.
Seriously. His father was actually like a renowned neurologist who has a wing at Brigham and Women's named after him. And was apparently kind of a weird guy. He like disappeared into like the jungle or something like that. I think he died. He was like in India when he died. He wasn't even in this country when the guy died. He wasn't here. So I don't know what that relationship was like. I know his parents separated probably when he was not like a kid, but like young, I think young enough. And his father obviously had money. I don't know if it was family money, but his father was a renowned neurologist, so he made money. But his mother has, I don't know if she worked, I don't know what she did, but she has money. She paid for the brownstone that he lived in Boston that he said was his. I think she was paying for his lawyer for the federal trial. Like her family has money too. His dad cut him off. His dad cut him out of the will. That's why he tried to take all that shit and conceal the will. That was another thing. The whole situation and family and people is just bizarre. Just really weird.
Yeah. So in regards to the verdict, do we think we're going to get one tomorrow, or do we think we're going to get one next week?
I would doubt tomorrow. I would think Monday at the earliest, I guess. I mean, if they're confused and they need to have stuff re-explained to them too, you know, all the commenters online are like, oh, that's going to be like, you know, they're going to eat lunch and then come back. They're going to just take the time to eat because it's free lunch, and then they'll come back with a guilty verdict. Maybe it will be that simple, but maybe it won't. Are they allowed to convict him on like a lower charge? Like, could they say we're going to convict him of manslaughter?
I think so.
I don't know what the rules are procedure for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know either.
Tomorrow. No.
You think tomorrow? No.
Things are been crazy.
I doubt she'll even like dismiss them from like. Yeah, I doubt they'll even get like dismissed with their charge from her or instructions till like midday. So I don't know.
So I will say on Monday when we went, like being in the courtroom, it's a different experience, very different. Brian Walsh, when he was walking back, he legit looked me right in the eye, and I looked him right in the eye. And then I see, because Liz was next to me, I see him look at Liz, and I'm like, oh my God, Liz didn't make eye contact with him.
What were you looking at, Liz? The wall art?
I don't know what I was looking at. I felt like I felt like being a spectator in this and sitting and staring at the guys. They bring him out. I don't know. I thought that was weird. I was probably just looking at my notebook or staring straight ahead like an idiot. I don't know.
Did they have some fancy
they had big old like oil paintings of grim looking judges.
I was gonna
Actually,
say,
the courtroom was really,
Yeah.
the courtroom was really cool. And it like, they had circuits blow out at like halfway. Remember that? They had circuits blow out and like half the power in the room went out and they had to wait. And then the one court officer had to go flip something. The courthouse is really old and really cool. Like architecturally, it's awesome. But that was,
I was gonna say they probably had stuff up about retired judges or something on the walls or something.
Oh, it's all, it's all judges that are up there, I'm sure.
And
but
I
it's a
will
lot
say-
prettier than the courtroom that I'm in more often. That's like newly built and boring. So
The judge for this trial, I love this judge. She is fair, she's kind, but
Yeah,
she's
me
no
too.
bullshit. She's to the point.
Yep. Yeah, I like her a lot.
Look at James. Give me my moment.
Dude, I've seen you on TV twice now, and Liz one
Wait,
time.
what's the other time? I don't remember. What's the other time?
She was on Twitter. Like she got like I was sitting there looking at Twitter, and all of a sudden I see
the Yannetti stuff.
Yannetti or something. I don't know what. Oh yeah, hey, Yannetti, I love you. And he like looks over and he does some.
That was more
hand
like hearing you
mannerism.
on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Did we see you or did we just hear you?
No, it's
I
just
think
audio.
it was her hearing. Yeah, I was like, oh my
That
god,
was
it's
funny.
like
That
that
was
sounds like Danny. Oh my god, how embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
How embarrassing.
Oh
That was
God.
fun.
So we will keep you guys posted on this verdict. Again, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It could go so many ways. It could go so many ways. I'm very curious. Like Liz mentioned that the defense didn't put anything. I am waiting to hear the defense's closing statements. I am
If there's
waiting.
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might just opt to not give one.
He opted to
Yeah.
not call a single witness, and he seemed like so depressed and apologetic about it. So I don't know. Maybe he had assumed they would be able to convince Brian to go on the stand, and Brian refused. And he was like, well, I can't do much else then. I don't know.
Brian Walsh to me is like one of those people where I feel like he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. So I don't see him saying, I'm going to sit this one out. I think he thinks he can con everyone to believe.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's a narcissist for sure. He probably likes to hear himself talk. He likes to act important. But it was just so odd. Larry Tipton seemed so like,
Amy,
that's
I love
amazing.
that.
Amy. That's so good. But yeah, he just had this like defeated attitude, and I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what tomorrow brings.
Dude, I met Nancy Grace. She's like so little.
Meet her. Oh, no, you
CrimeCon.
saw her at CrimeCon.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just a few feet from us.
Did you give her a sticker?
No, she was with like 4 people, and I just didn't want to I was like, oh look, there's that's Nancy Grace. She's so little. She's like 5'2". Oh, she's like old. She's like an old lady.
Beckham, you can't say that.
Sorry, I'm just saying.
I am shocked.
She's like little. Like she's just little. Like you don't. You know, like her persona is like way different on TV than in real life.
Oh, 100%.
Like she does. Yeah, she's just like this little, cute little old lady you don't want to mess with, or you don't,
Cute little lady.
Beckham, I know how old you are. Stop saying that she's old. I'm just saying.
Just like a grandma.
Oh, snap.
I am shocked that Beckham wasn't just like the other people she was with. Beckham, how are you not like, excuse me, but don't you know who I am? That's a Beckham move. Renee says,
Yes.
Beckham, you are obsessed with people's size.
What? I've never really. I just said
How
she's
far
like
do
a
I
little.
want to take that?
She's like a little grandma, like that's all. That's what it was.
Beckham, we could be talking about psychological classic overcompensation.
When have I been obsessed? I'm just saying, her personality on TV is like she's like 6 foot. You know what I mean? It's like she's just that. And
No,
then
she has a
when you
big
see her,
personality.
when you see her on in real life, you're like, oh my god, she's like this little, little thing. You just want to hug her.
Renee is
Oh yeah, Jesse Weber. That's right. He's like 5'4".
You.
That's right,
James,
Renee. That's right.
James Watson wants to know if you drive a fancy, expensive sports car.
I don't know. I could, but I don't.
You could, but you don't. You are ridiculous.
Could, but he
No,
doesn't.
Renee, Beckham is a hater. He is a hater. The second I was like, I like Jesse Weber.
Dude, I swear to God, man,
from
like
Law and Crime.
Like Nancy Grace, her personality on TV, like she's like this.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
Huge, personality.
All right.
I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. That was funny.
So, Liz, can you hang around for like a couple more minutes? Last thing in tonight is Sandra Birchmore, so another Massachusetts one.
Oh yeah, I don't have a lot of input, but I'll hang around. I did saw was they're not gonna charge him. They're not gonna put the death penalty on him.
Look what Shelly wrote. She's like Jesse Weber would have fit in your suitcase, Danny. I told you.
I will not be putting that comment on the screen, and Shelly, you were on notice. So Sandra Birchmore, yes. So as Liz had said, what happened this week news-wise was federal prosecutors have announced they will not be seeking the death penalty against Matthew Farwell. He is the 39-year-old former Stoughton police officer who was originally indicted in August 2024 in the death of 23-year-old Sandra Birchmore. So again, her body was found on February 4th, 2021 in her apartment in Canton, Massachusetts. She was 3 months pregnant at the time. Farwell waived his court appearance and a not guilty plea was entered on his behalf. So Beckham, calm down. For those who have been following this case, again, her death was ruled a suicide. The family did not believe that, hired Dr. Michael Bodden, and basically it was determined that no, this was not a suicide. This was she was killed. So federal investigation, again, has now examined old evidence and revealed critical new evidence that led to the charges against Matthew Farwell. He was not the only police officer that was charged in this, because it turns out multiple law enforcement officers from, this is disgusting, a program where kids come to get kind of law enforcement, kind of fun, hands-on experience as children. Yeah, they ended up preying on her. When she was
one
underage.
of them, his brother too.
Yep. Oh, we got Betsy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, we got Betsy. All right. Look at her looking. I think she sees her. She sees me, or she sees herself. Look at her. She's tweaked.
We are the lollipop kids. The lollipop kids. The lollipop kids.
So Matthew Farwell, his trial is scheduled to begin. It says in 1 year. That was the updated one. So we will see in that. But interesting, they're not going to go for the death penalty.
We are the lollipop kids. The lollipop kids.
All right. Well, Beckham's starting to lose it. So
just like that was Charlie's comment just has me cracking up.
Oh, hey, Auntie Mimi. Hey, Mimi, do you see Liz's cat in the background? Betsy.
Hey,
hi, Mimi. Do you see Betsy? Here's Betsy. She's even looking at the screen. She thinks she's the star.
Well, because she is.
Beckham, she's going to give you a run for your money. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She thinks she's important.
Betsy's a bad bitch. I would not mess with her.
Betsy.
She is. She truly is.
She's like, what are you guys doing?
The chat loves
Betsy. She sees us on screen and she's like freaking out.
Yeah, she's like, what are y'all doing?
Betsy's happy to hear that. Yeah. Bye.
Ain't that the truth? So, oh my gosh, everybody's loving on Betsy.
Oh, everybody says hi, Betsy.
She's like, all right, you guys, you peasants have seen enough of me for now.
Yeah. She's like, I'm done. I told you, we think she's losing her hearing.
Mm.
I don't think she's totally deaf, but little noises and things that you see their ears move, you know, and she used to turn to you and you say her name and I have to like yell it now. My deaf little old lady.
Oh,
Was that
so-
cats have staff? Yes, that's true. Oh, Mimi, I'm sorry you're sick.
Auntie Mimi, get better soon.
Ooh, I hope you feel better, Auntie Mimi.
Tony Stewart, Betsy, give Liz a hard time. Tony, you are, really.
Oh, she does.
Wow, that's
She
a hard
knows.
one right there.
Boss.
She keeps Liz in her place.
on the
I'll tell you
floor.
that.
She shits on the floor and stands on me at night and wakes me up to feed her. She's, like I am her staff.
Pretty much.
All of us. Yep.
So, all right, folks, let's wind this one down. The True Crime and Chill. Again, thank you all for hanging out a day earlier than typical. Thank you to Beckham for gracing us with your presence for like 5 minutes because you were an avatar most of the time, but that's all right.
I was just giving you all your space. I was giving you guys your case space, That's it.
The case space. Get in the case space.
Thank you to the Liz, my official Brian Walsh news correspondent, for filling us in on kind of what happened when we were there in court on Monday and then what happened this week, especially with what happened today.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I know. I'm glad I was able to get on. Fridays are hard sometimes, but Thursdays sometimes work. So This was good.
All right, everybody. So thank you for tuning in, for being here tonight with us. Reminder, tomorrow will be a live show, but it will be the part 2 interview with Anthony DiMaria and Marshall Terrell for J.C. Brincunnington.
If you want a 3-hour show, be around for 3 hours. You got it.
Beckham, knock it off. And then next Tuesday will be a review of the Netflix docuseries, the 4 episodes on Diddy. So tune in if you want to hear the breakdown of that. Other than that, thank you guys again, Beckham and the Liz, for being here tonight. And thank you to Betsy. Oh my God, how can I not shout out Betsy? Thank you, Betsy, for gracing us with your presence as well. And all right, everybody, thank you for joining us. And remember,
she says we're lucky and we're welcome.
Thank you, everybody, again. And remember, until next time, we don't live in darkness. Darkness lives in us. Bye, everyone.